Right, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Let's see what we got here. Morning, guys, morning. The weird echo I was trying to fix earlier. I think it should be good now. So I'm currently looking for some buys on gold. Price is moving up. Price moving up. It's in this really big accumulation here, but man, what I noticed, like, gold is pulling back a lot. Like, literally every time it's like breaking. Okay, so man, I missed out on such a good move this morning just because I wasn't on the chart. There's a really nice push that happened over here during pre-London time. But at the same time, I've noticed that gold's pulling back a lot of late. Like, it's breaking and then doing this, then pulling back. So let's see. Hopefully we get like a setup within this area over here, within this kind of like a dip. Let's see if price can move up again. How's the audio though, chat? You can hear the music? Yes? Oh, nice. I closed 80% of my position about 30 seconds ago before the huge pop up. Could be sitting stupidly nice profit, but I secured a nice trade, so can't cry about it. Yes, that's awesome. At least you secured something, you know. It's a profit is profit, right? Because you don't know. There's a reason that you secured. Maybe price could have done the opposite. Then you would have been happy too. So it's like you kind of put yourself in that position where you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Yeah, but hey, let's see what happens here. Let's see. I would like to get a setup before it actually breaks these highs. Before it breaks these highs over here, because I got a feeling like this thing's gonna pull back again. That's kind of what it's doing, because remember we said, like, with the previous daily candlestick, you notice what happened with the previous daily candle over there? It closed bullish. And this is kind of like a time where we could be expecting you know, like some more pushes towards the upside. As you said, like, if you go on the daily, we always said, like yesterday, once a daily candlestick closes, we're going to be seeing some more bullish, like a little bit more bullishness come in. As you can see, yesterday's daily candle flipped and closed bullish, and today we have PCE, which is the main thing that the Fed uses to decide on the rate cuts, right? So right now it looks like they're going to be keeping it the same. This is the change in price of goods and services purchased by consumers. So looks like they're going to be keeping it the same. So we're going to wait and see how these numbers come out over here. That's going to be at 10 a.m. That's the only key release that we're waiting for, but we can already see the volume coming into the market, right? But Now it's just a matter of like, can we actually get some follow-throughs, or, you know, what's the London session going to do? Are we just going to be pulling back down? Or can we get stuck in somehow? Some way, somehow. Let's see if we create a support over here. Maybe get in a break by these highs a little bit sooner. But with these conditions, it's safer to be sooner than later. You see something of the sort like this, where I'm visualizing is price going to come down, create us a support, and then break these highs, fill some of this range, and then attempt to go and break this high over here. But once it breaks that high, I think it's going to pull back down again. So something like that, something like this. Let's see if we can get that support. Pull back for 4-hour candle. Hey, Gaming X, thanks for the sub. Looking like a head and shoulders in the 1 minute, so wouldn't be surprised if it pulls back first. Yeah, it does. It does seem. I wouldn't be surprised too. It seems like it's losing some steam because we had the move during pre-London time. It's like Asia session over here too. Asia actually was really nice as well. See, like price just trickling upwards like this. Let's see, maybe it's just retesting these entries here, so it can attempt to break above again. We just got the new oh yeah, this entry is right here. We just got the new hourly candlestick too. See, it's got some room to keep moving up over here. Seeing a little bit of exhaustion as candlesticks are becoming smaller bodied. But overall, still quite bullish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bullish candles in a row. Just got one resistance, maybe creating like the hourly lows before we create hourly highs. Let's see how this sets up over here. Using your same daily bias indicator, but mine it's showing daily bias waiting. Yeah, mine too. It's gonna switch over to bullish right now. Gonna switch over in a second once it pops up a little bit more. I'm thinking how to approach this level over here. How can we approach this breaky? I tightened my stop loss a bit, so at least can just be securing something here. Because it seems like 20 pips is kind of like what the market is giving here at this point. Before I was looking for like 30 pips, but now we look for like 20. I want to see how we approach that zone though. The structure still doesn't look like very obvious or anything too appetizing. You done for the week? Nice. It's been a tough week. I don't know. I feel like it should have been more locked in terms of the times that I trade, but it's been a tough week because of those pullbacks. Because of those pullbacks and a lot of like anticipation towards having this data out, this PC data, and then the FOMC next week. Alright, it's gonna pull down. The 5 minute, there's not like very nice range on the 5 to go down, but the 15 has some clean traffic. Down towards 42.16, it's about 56 pips. Hey, good morning, good morning. So it looks like it did like a small even liquidity grab over there. That's what I've been noticing about gold of late. There's been like these liquidity type of situations happening quite a bit. Quite a bit, like breaking lows, breaking highs, and then pulling up, pulling up, pulling up. So man, like for these breakouts, we need to capture like we need to try capture the sort of earlier ones. Because even with the second one seems to be pulling back. Because usually it would be first one, second, and then third could even play out. But now it's like first and then second pull back. So, but then sometimes it doesn't give you a proper first one like in a dip. It'll give you the first one like somewhere up over here. So it's like you started to get caught more. Let's wait and see what happens now. See if we can break 42.27, see how we approach that level. I'll kind of like us, so actually, you know, it'd be better even if we get something here, to be honest, because that's even feeling like a stretch right now with these pullbacks. If something happens like here, that would even be better. You can get into these little pockets which are a little bit safer, you know, little air bubbles, air pockets down here in the caves. Because I always look at this like a valley. It's like a valley. Hey, morning, Ricardo. Looking for a buy or sell? Buy. Forget there was NFP today. Oh, there was, yeah, today was meant to be NFP as well, true. I think the last time we got this PC data was in October. Core PC price index. So this one should be pretty damn important. As it's going to be the last one before FOMC. So that's like, this is the main thing that they use a CPI, but this is the main thing that they're going to look at. Tough week, but a good week, up around 7%. That's very nice. That's not a tough week. Oh, I mean, it could be tough to make that 7. Yeah, but pretty good week. It's true. Like if you get like 7% or 5%, it doesn't mean that it could have been just as tough. Could have been tough. Sometimes it's not tough. Sometimes it's tough. So congratulations for being disciplined. And, you know, just following your rules. I thought I would come in, didn't see the warning on Telegram. Oh, really? I sent it. It should be... Just check again. It should be right there. You gotta check. You know, sometimes I notice with the internet providers, you gotta sometimes mess around with those things. With like Telegram. Sometimes, there's a point I couldn't send pictures in there. I had to send them off my phone, for example, because it wouldn't go through. Sometimes it happens. You see it now? Alright, nice. Yeah, sometimes ISPs, they can actually block access to certain websites. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Maybe something's gonna cook up somewhere around here. I think I'll need it. Possibly come all the way up till there. One second. See if that works. Okay, awesome. We need this thing to create us some nice little structure here. Still no structure. I'm just preempting what might happen. Still no structure. Oh, there's a small little breaky here. But it would be nicer if this candle was to close down first. It looks like it's just breaking above. It's gonna skyrocket. Maybe it might head for the hills over here. See, that's what I want to see. I want to see it pull down like this. Pull down, then create a support down there. Whoop. See if we can pull down a bit more. Such as this. Visualize what we want to see. But where is that? That's only like 0. Ooh. I'm gonna give us a good pull. At least a good pull down. Because the daily is not yet trending. So a little bit more of a pull down would be nice. Let's see, okay, that's 0.39. It's going to be something like similar like yesterday. It's just going to be breaking exactly at that 0.40%. That's what happened yesterday. It broke exactly at 0.40. Then it distributed. It's at 0.39. Let's see where it needs to get. Oh, your broker, your spreads are, that's pretty high. My spreads are like 1 pip. Yeah, it's right there by that daily. Now you see it's right at that daily trend. It's right at that daily trend. So it might be trying to actually come up here a bit more. It might be trying to come up here. It's heading for the hills. See, it might be able to catch one right here instead. Depending on how the structure forms there. It'd be nice for the 5-minute to close first because this one's a bit extended. Yeah, it would be nice to play around here for a bit. Play here on, get the new 5-minute. We got 2 minutes till the new 5 open. It would be nice to play around here for a bit, then break on the next 5. If this 5 breaks, it's gonna have to have moved already quite a bit to get to that point. But definitely today we do have macro influence in the market. You can see with the volume and the way price is moving. Okay, should we get 1 more minute? See how this 5 minute closes. There's a potential 1 hour range to fill today. Yeah, we still got space there on the hourly too. The hourly took out these lows as well. Previous hourly lows slightly taken there. Just waiting for a bit of structure. I want to see this thing pop up. I want to see that become like some kind of a fake out just to retest the pre-London buyers from before and then get that continuation. Yeah, like a nice pullback, solid strong pullback like this. There's a new 5 minute open here now. Yeah, it's, man, I'm trying to get this thing early because right now if you're not getting it early, then you're gonna be most likely gonna get into a pullback. But hopefully like this sets up here nice and then breaks above. It would be nice to see 42.20 or even 42.15 before we go up again. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I see. For me, I see it's already ready. It just mitigated these players over here. That's a pre-London push. That's why I wish I came onto the chart early today. I came on the chart quite late. In my eyes, it's good to go. It's already set up something here too. Because we're in momentum as well. Like if you see the way we've been moving since the Asia session, like we're in momentum. You know, sometimes you're not going to get those pullbacks. If you've noticed, like whenever gold moves, it moves. It just moves. So I want to see it move. I want to see this momentum just stay. You know, the last thing I want to see is any kind of like major pullbacks or like huge phases of consolidation. I need this momentum to keep going. You know, just like in anything in life, it's, you know, momentum. When you keep momentum up, that's when you're going to see the results. We don't want hesitation right now. Can I change the time zone in TradingView chart? How? Oh yeah, you can change it here at the bottom right hand side. You just go over there and then you just click on it and you can choose your time zone. How much would it matter to change? It just depends on what time zone that you want to use. That's all it is. It wouldn't change anything really, besides just the time zone. Let's see here, the 5-minute. A few rejection wicks. Over here, you see, we need this thing to pop. We need to get out of the zone. Because right now it's accumulating here. But it broke and created a new lower low. But the trend, overall trend is still bullish though. You see, so this is the guys that I want to trap and see price really like push through this level over here. Right, as it approaches these highs. Once it approaches those highs, it's most likely going to pull back again like this. So trying to get in sooner. But let's see. Because it might even set up something even before. Might set one up even right here. Like literally at the break of that high. Or even right here, to be honest. Gold has been super sneaky. Also wouldn't mind something like this to happen. Like create a... Oh, okay, now it's coming down. Create like a support. Put down and then break again above like this. Like get a sooner entry like here. And super sneaky. It's even got the SMAs kind of holding it up here too. Got that 8. Oh, just got SMA crossover there. Come on, fake them out, fake them out. Because now if we start breaking below this level over here, that's going to be boring. You know, now we got to have to wait. Gold's probably just going to retrace for the London session and then start to have its moves again during the pre-NY. If it breaks those lows by 42.21, we might see a bigger push to the downside. You see the way that 15-minute just closed? Yeah, how it's like rejected these highs and then just closed bearish there in the last few seconds. Hey, good afternoon. Let's remove that. Hello, I'm from the UK. Watch you daily. Welcome, welcome, Rainbow Keys. I'm trading a small live account. Currency market started with 100 about 3 months ago. You trade mostly gold. Current balance is 510. And current gold up. Okay, nice. Awesome. Slow and steady gains. Took a trade in Asia. Now I'm up from -3 to 2%. Most probably was a buy. This was a play right here. This was a move, I'm telling you. That Asia push right here. The test. Yeah, exactly. Just come back to test that zone. But you see now it's pushing down again for like another test. It's like weakening. The market structure is showing us that it's actually weakening. Here, as you can see. It's creating also new lower lows. Oh man. Yellow or white t-shirts on Monday, please. We got Monday blues. Show a blue t-shirt on Monday. Alright, let's see if price can push up here. Starting to have a little bit of gas, a little steam in it. Oh, your first week having 4 green days in a row? Congratulations. Yeah, you know, it's been actually a pretty good week so far. Like, we've just had these setups this week on stream, which, you know, they've been pretty much playing out, but they're just not giving me 30 pips, so now I'm just reducing that to 20 pips. So overall, like, W week. We also called out some really nice trades. I think that was on Wednesday. Really nice back-to-back bangers. PNL wise for me, could be better. Could be better, could be better, could be better. I was hoping to end off the week with 5%. We're going to see what the case is going to be now. Currently at like 2.8 to 80. Target by this weekend. What do you mean by this weekend? Gold's gonna close today at the end of the day. But the target for the week over here has not really been a target. It's just more been waiting for the dailies to flip bullish, like we got yesterday, because that's already showing us now the small hints as to what we're gonna expect next week. So next week I wanna hopefully get some really good runners next week, as we're approaching FOMC now. This week was kind of like a setting up week, you know. You're playing a lot of defense in December, taking on these solid setups. That's nice. Hey, Adam White, thanks for the sub. If I live close to your Vic, I'll get you a black t-shirt that says white tea on it. I feel like you know, the colors are distracting. It's, you know, you never go wrong with a black tea, to be honest. It's classic, it's timeless. Go literally anywhere with a black tea. Yeah, a white tea, you know, kind of distracting. Last time I wore a gray tea, and people were more focused on the gray tea than the content, because like it pops out a bit more. Just trying to get the job done here. Just trying to show up. Who gives a crap what you wear? You know, like some people focus so much on what they wear. I don't really focus on what I wear, to be honest with you, chat. I don't really. There was a point in time that I did, but I don't really like. Even if you look, because Joshua, you just finished watching Billions, right? What the hell does Axelrod wear? You know what I mean? The guy's a billionaire. What does he wear? Some kind of old-looking Metallica t-shirts and some plain jeans, and then every now and then he just rocks up in a suit. You know, just like, who gives a crap what you wear? You look at the way Elon Musk dresses as well. What does he wear? Doesn't wear anything too interesting, you know. Wears the suits every now and then and just some t-shirts. some kind of nerdish t-shirts here and there, you know? Like if you go to watch like a NBA basketball game, you're gonna see the rich guys wear the awesome Balenciagas, the Yeezys, all that stuff, and sitting next to the rich guy will just be a guy in sandals, man. But this guy is worth like hundreds of millions, probably billions. You know, like for me, when it comes to all of this stuff, it's a lot simpler just to throw on a black t-shirt and just go on about your day and go and make money and do something good for yourself. And every now and then, depending on the occasion, then you can, you know, whatever. I know. Vic is such a downer. So boring, Vic. It's tested previous 30-minute resistance. From here, I got my trade of today, and now makes sense to move up since it rejected. Just trying to like, I'm trying to not miss out on those moves because these moves are really sneaky. These are sneaky moves. Whenever price moves like this, you're just gonna see a distribution come out of nowhere, and then in hindsight, you're gonna be like, damn, that should have been my entry. So I'm thinking about even reducing it even more. I'm thinking about like even I think it could be breaking right here. This breakouts are so sneaky when price moves like this. If you wore a suit and a tie, I wouldn't trust you. That's Now, I think like having nice suits, you know, you don't have to like your wardrobe can be so simple, but just like have the biggest effect. You know what I mean? Like if you just got like, I like the way people dress like in London, for example. They have a really nice like simple, it's like simple but formal, but also like it's timeless kind of look. Like you just have a simple wardrobe, like black t-shirts and then like really nice pieces. Like not like fashionable stuff, but more like timeless, classic, you know, smart. It's like quite an investment there too. Your wardrobe's probably gonna cost like maybe, I think like a really nice wardrobe, like 30,000, like 30k. Just go to some tailors there in the UK. But timeless, man, simple. I think market will swipe. Let's see, they will continue to upside. What's your view, brother? Yeah, I think like if we break these highs, I'm waiting for continuation. If I don't get the continuation, then you know it is what it is, and just have to come back at it next week. The name is Bond. James Bond. Got a James Bond wardrobe. You are what you wear. Wrong color t-shirt. Wrong side of the market. You know, people say they find confidence in the clothes that they wear, right? But you gotta find even more confidence in your health. Like if you go to the gym and you work out, like you can literally wear anything, chat. Like imagine a buff guy walking into a room, just for example, right? And he wears like the crappiest clothes, and you got this other guy who dresses fashionably. Man, the buff guy will get all the views. You know what I mean? Or like hot girl or whatever. Like she's gonna get all the views. Just, you know, take care of your health. I think that's where you actually get your real confidence from. Like, just put in some work. All right, let's see. Can we get the break? You ever watch those videos of those guys who just walk on the street with like six packs, not wearing nothing? Look at this dude. Look at this dude right here. Who cares? You think women care what color his t-shirt is? Well, I guess he could be. Yeah, it's pretty. Well, I've seen like other like really nice. See, do you get any of those videos here on YouTube? Look at this guy, beast. This is Sparta.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Spartans, what is your profession? Price action setting up super bullish for next week. Yes, I hope so. That's what we're waiting. Your feed is weird. Yeah, I mean everybody's feed is weird. It's the internet. Have you seen Anatoly's video in the gym dressed as a cleaner? Don't think so. Oh, wait. Dressed as a cleaner and what? Helping people gym? I think I saw a video like that once. Where this cleaner guy who's helping people gym. Yeah, I've seen it. Actually seen it. This cleaner guy comes out of nowhere and his... Alright, gotta lock in. I feel like this thing is about to pop here. Question is, where is this gonna pop from? This section right over here. There it comes down heavy. See if it can create a support. If we can create one support before we break, that's what I would want to see. I'm telling you, this breakout is gonna be so sneaky. I got a feeling it's gonna be so sneaky, so you can easily miss it in this condition. Okay, so it's not doing what we thought it would do. Oh, look at that. It's coming back down there. You're a close eye on this section here. That's going to create an inverted head and shoulders there too. I want to see a candle close bullish like this and then pop on the next one. All right, so now we're coming back down here. Let's see. See, this is reading PA because PA, like every moment in the market is unique, you know? You can't just set a limit order and expect price to remain the same because it's always shifting. It's always shifted based on what it does. It could do like a small, you can even do a liquidity grab right now. This candle could push down heavily and then all of a sudden pull back up. You know, and that's going to create like kind of like an interesting situation. Let's see if it like pulls up. Come on, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Don't start creating your lower lows there. What's the daily at though? 0.36. Could we hit 0.40 though at the break? Oh, man, it looks a bit lethargic, you know. It's still coming down. Look at the way that kind of looks over there. Holy man, the 5 minute. Look at the 5 minute. Look at where we're trading. Jeez. Man, look at those whips. There's so many whips in here. The way that looks now, I don't know. Kind of creating your lower low there. Jeez. It will need to create a support. It needs to create one more support. So I need a candlestick to close bearish again and then close up. Then close bullish. I don't want to see it break like this. Yeah, just like this. Close bearish. And then the next one's to come up. Then we should be good. Come on, pop up. Really struggling there because it's rejected that zone on the 5 quite a lot. Trust me, catching the breakout here is going to be a finesse. You're going to have to finesse this move. Because sometimes getting in earlier is less risky than getting in later. But if you're cautious today, if you know you're worried about losses and that sort of thing, it's not the easiest trade to take. This because of the overall condition that we're in right now. You can see loads of wicks all around the area. So if you're trying to be like playing it really safe, just know the condition, the setup could be there, but the condition itself is maybe not the most ideal. So I'm trying to remove my my long and short position to take out the bias. Because sometimes whenever we have position like that on the screen, we marry the idea, right? But if you just hide it, then again, you're just looking at the PA and you're just reading price action. Because you know the idea is that, oh, okay, you see how it's like pushing down. The idea is you don't want to want it too much. If you want it too much, then that's typically not a good case scenario. Yeah, this thing looks like it's pulling back for. You can tell like it's a bit weak. The buyers here are like a little bit weak. The market structure is leaning more towards the downside. You can see here, now we're still creating new lower lows. See again, another lower low has been formed over there. Hourly time frame gold could create lower low back to the previous resistance before it flies. It's a nasty zone though, isn't it? Just look at the amount of wicks. Oh, new hourly soon. A little head and shoulders melting off. And now see how it respects the zone over here. If it's gonna treat like a break and a retest or a fake out. Because there are two things which can happen there. Obviously, you can pull up or break and retest to come down. So I got my eyes out for these highs right here by 42.26. Yeah, you can see here in the candle here, a little bit of exhaustion, some rejection. But this is not what we want to see though, because the daily is going back to a doji. Do you understand that, right, Chad? If you want price to sell off, you know, at 0.30%. If we keep selling off 0.20, we're basically just reducing volume. That's all we're doing, just reducing volume. And then it might just come back here as a small little daily candlestick at that 0.20, 20-ish range. And then, you know, at that point, it's just all mixed signals. You can just get away with pretty much anything. But what we wanted to see was just a clean bias, which is still predominantly bullish, still at 0.30%. So I just want to see this clean bias in line with what we think is going to happen as well with the rate decisions next week. Don't want to see these like big pullbacks. Says, but your market read kept you out for now. That's very good. Yes, I think, you know, your best trades are also typically the ones that you don't take. Not always the ones that you take, but the ones you don't take. So you have to have a strategy or approach to the markets where it's keeping you away from taking trades. You know, ideally, you want to be kind of kept away from taking trades. That's how you know when you get stuck in and you finally get your entries, then they're more like better probability. A nice little dump here about like how many pips they do? About like 18. Gold is weak today, so I mean dollar is weak, so gold should be bullish. Or rather, it's a nice confluence. It doesn't always work, but it's nice to see it. This looks like a dump. Come on, buyers, wake up. Yeah, buyers went out for lunch here or something. Like pre-lunch. Or breakfast. Or like pre-London is breakfast, and then London is more like a pre-lunch snack. Then New York feels more like a lunchtime. Or like after lunch. No, I think pre-NY is lunch, right? You got pre-London breakfast, London pre-lunch snack, and then pre-NY is like lunch. And then New York session is where everybody's on the chart, right? That's when everybody's working, everybody's at the office. The day's really kicking right now. You got the NYSC open, New York session's open. Everyone from the London is awake. It's definitely much later in the day. That's why I like these earlier sessions. I feel like they're a lot more peaceful. Quiet. You also got the red folders coming in during the New York session. Got a lot of noise. Engulfing candle. The TradingView Broker Awards 2025 have been achieved. Liftoff. Strap in for the ride and help your favorite broker win by leaving them a review on their TradingView Broker page. Hey, what's up, David? Good morning. Yeah, Nvidia's kind of having a recovery here. struggling. It's giving them a reversal signal. Well, the sellers. See, it'll break above those highs. Also just got the new hourly open. This thing looks like it could just dump at this point. Just create new hourly highs like this. Hey, what's up, Rainsy? No bottom wick for the previous hourly. Well, got one now. I wanna see it fake. I wanna see it fake out these sellers over here. Fake these sellers out, break above 42.22. Shoot up. How good is Fibonacci retracement? Like everything like kind of works. That's why you have also Fibonacci channels. Like people use these things, right? I've never seen anybody like profitable with Fibonacci channel or anything, but there's a reason why they exist, I suppose. Like people are gonna use these things. You see this? Looks like your curtains. Curtain strategy. Open a curtain here. Then you can close the curtain, open the curtain. I don't know why people have these tools, but it's usually when you try and overcomplicate trading, that's when you're gonna lose a lot more money, right? Yeah, all this Fibonacci sequences and whatnot is just another way of trying to figure out the market, basically. Well, most people have been trying to figure out the market for a really long time, you know? But maybe there's nothing really to figure out there. See this? People don't come up with stuff like this without trying to figure something out. This is like the Da Vinci Code right here. All right, let's wave goodbye to Goldie. Bye, Gold. Good, adios. Now it's pushed. How many pushes is that? From here to here? It's about like 20. It's a distribution from this area. That's why I want to see it at least like respect. It would be nice for it to have it broken above and then fake them out and then come all the way up. But instead it respected the zone and then it broke the lows to distribute down. Here's the daily. Slowly giving back gains. I think the pricing in for the sells should also be kind of done. Like once you created that support. Right over here. I would be surprised to see it and then price in more like on a Monday. Come down again. But you know, this thing can like shift any point. You could even break above that resistance. We could even end off Friday, Freaky Friday, above like 42.40. Because if you even look at the way this previous daily candlestick closed, it literally flipped in the last, like towards the market close. It flipped back up bullish. This can be good if it keeps moving up. The 4, we can have nice confluence. It's also just distributing from this bigger one here. From here to here. It's like when it started breaking. Pulled out a bit, accumulated. Found that resistance and then followed through again. I was gonna buy and my broker stopped working. How convenient. How's GJ? GJ is in what is GJ doing? Bullrun. GJ is slowly but surely climbing up. GJ doesn't have too much volume on the daily, but looks like we just had accumulation breakout on pound yen actually. Top of the range over here. We have price accumulate, kind of correct this. This is gonna be clean traffic. If you go on like the 15 minute, the 30 minute, this is gonna be cleaner traffic. The hourly. So it just had a V-shaped reversal on the HTF, but with nice accumulation breakout confluence on the LTF to fill up this range. So you'd like, if you're leaving a runner, you'd be anticipating that the hourly range would be getting filled, right? If you got into the position sooner, you can see the range a bit better, I guess, in the 5. Got into it here, you'd be looking at the hourly time frame as a range to fill. You see, so that's kind of what GJ has done right now. And right now at that resistance, it's kind of, it's accumulating, as you can see. It's getting in more orders because it's trying to break. You see how it's breaking this accumulation? It's trying to distribute again. It's trying to push from this area. That's why it's accumulating orders. It's at a resistance right now. So sometimes you're going to see price do this next to a resistance to try and break above it. Yeah, you see it's breaking above here. Shooting above these levels. That's what GJ is doing. Fly, GJ. Red Bull gives you wings. The Red Bull gives you wings, pound. Fly, fly, fly. Cause it's got gold pulling up again here. The next zone on BTC though, 78, or you can even say like 80k. Need to get through those levels. Let's see, BTC dump. But right now it has enough space to play within this range. Well, our initial analysis was we thought that Bitcoin we thought it was gonna break here and then come down here, but we figured maybe we're gonna create a head and shoulders first before coming down, but that could still be the case, right? You still have the left shoulder and then price to create that Come down. It filled up the range. It tapped the range here. Retest 100k one last time. You know, a little bit of exuberance. That's what happened in when we crashed to 15k. We retested like 65. It was like the key mark, and then it just crashed. So we might see again a bit of exuberance above 100k. People will get excited again, and then just have it like crash. The problem with Bitcoin is it's never going to go to the moon because governments are never going to allow that to happen. Like, if it gets gains too much popularity, then it wouldn't be allowed. It wouldn't be allowed to happen by governments because, you know, like this is also an illegal way that people used to, they use this cryptocurrency to do crime, basically. Like, have you ever been on the dark web before? You know, the amount of things you can pay for on the dark web with cryptocurrencies. And, you know, I don't think governments really like the idea of not knowing how your money is being spent. If you haven't noticed, they don't like not knowing where your money is going. They need to know where your money is, where it's going, what are you doing with it. So cryptocurrency, it's a fugazi, but, you know, for now it's nice, it's moving up. But in the long term, this is not going to be something that's going to live like for very long-term investment there, because people are holding for like 20 years, 30 years, but you'd be better off holding the NAS 100 for like 20, 30 years. You'd be better holding something of actual value that's in or integrated in our society already, you know, for 20, 30 years. I think Bitcoin was just one of those things. If you got in like early, man, that would have been so sick. You're in like Black Swan event when it was all the way down here. Like $1,000, $500, man, it would have been amazing. That's crazy. I'm an anti-crypto guy. You'll be better off holding ETFs for 20, 30 years. Like slow, steady gains. Slowly put into it every, maybe like daily, weekly, monthly. It's much safer. Because there's some people, if you look at the portfolios, a lot of cryptocurrency heads, if you look at the portfolios, a really big percentage of their income goes directly into cryptos. You know, a huge percent. They don't kid around. They put like a huge percent. Like maybe half of what they earn, or like even more, but a very big percent they put into cryptos. But even if you look at the market, like if you look at crypto, I think it only makes about 5% of the overall market volume. It's even not that much. Crypto maybe trades $1 billion a day, you know, just $1 billion. It's not like forex, which is you know, getting trillions traded daily. Crypto only does like maybe $1 billion. It's a really small percentage of the overall market volume. So yes, when you do due diligence, try and prove your theories wrong, because a lot of the time we like to prove our theories right. We want certain things to be true, but you know, try and prove yourself wrong first. Aura farming us. That's how you're gonna approach theories. You don't try and prove a theory right. You want to prove it wrong first. See where its limitations are. I now have a BTC long position. The daily time frame started making bullish structure. Bitcoin is nice for like short-term gains. You know what I mean? Like if you're trying to get percentage gains, like in the short term, it's pretty nice. It's kind of like investment funds who give you like, you know, 10, 15% a year. Those are like good for five-year plans. You got 5-year goals. If you want to buy a house in the next 5 years, you know, they're a little more volatile, obviously, but they give you like higher returns. That's what I see like as a crypto. You got like 5-year goals. It's not like a 20-year goal. You know, a pension plan, for example, is like a 20+ year goal. ETFs and all that things, those are like much longer goals. But you get these shorter term options here. Because, you know, at the end of the day, you have an income problem. You don't have any other kind of problem. It's mostly income. A lot of you would be happy with just $1 million invested into something that can generate you a good amount yearly that you can just live off. If you make the first million, it's pretty much smoother sailing from that point. But making the first million is always the hardest. Can't remember who said this as well. This guy who said making the first million is always the hardest. But like beyond that, you know, it takes money to make money, so it becomes a lot easier. Just the same way as growing a trading account. Maybe making your first $10,000 is going to be difficult, but like once you get to it, then it's going to be feeling a bit more exponential. So I always tell people, you know, solve your income problem. Don't budget your way to freedom. You know, it's very difficult to do that. Very difficult. Like me, lol, I bought around $300 when it dropped from 1,000. Then you get scammed and you get allergy to crypto because this community of crypto is very, very scammy. Yeah, I still find it crazy that you managed to get in that early though. Oh, imagine the guy who bought the pizza. Remember the guy who bought pizza for a few Bitcoins? World's most expensive Bitcoin. I mean, pizza. But how could you know? This guy, how much did he do? 10,000 Bitcoins. Ooh. He paid 10,000 Bitcoins for two large Papa John's pizzas. Key details of transaction. The date was May 22nd, 2010. It is now celebrated annually as Bitcoin Pizza Day. Oh, May 22nd, 2010. Oh, May 22nd is Bitcoin Pizza Day. The current value as of late 2025, 2024, 25, those same 10,000 BTC would be worth over 1 billion. 1 billion due to Bitcoin's exponential price increase. Holy. $1 billion pizza in 2025. Was this guy right here?
And somebody there, I'll take you up on that offer. So another coin. I said, okay, pizza. And he told me that he paid with his credit card, and people showed up at my posted on the forum. I said, if anybody's interested, I'm offering 10,000 Bitcoins in exchange for the pizza. Somebody said, okay, I'll take you up on that offer. So another coin. I said, okay, I'm paying for pizza. And he told me that he paid with his credit card.
Congratulations, you played yourself. DJ Khaled style. Another one. If I paid 10k BTC, I would be pissed watching BTC price today. Everybody's got a kind of a story. Some people lose like their flash drives or the BTC in their wallets. If the first million is the hardest, then just start with the second. Sanzu. Ooh. Got Joshua here dropping bombs. That's very nice. I like that. You have to think like you're already making the second, right? Because how can you because the thing is, like, whenever you're gonna level up in life, you're always gonna think differently. right? So how can you, when you start a business, what are the problems that the guys at the top are facing? You know, you're always thinking you're starting here, but you're kind of thinking, what are the problems they're facing here at the top? You know, because then your mindset and everything is going to shift. It's going to grow exponentially. Because I think like in business, there's always like certain levels to it, right? And you're always taking like, you think you're at a good level here and then you learn something new and you keep like going up like slowly. But you should already start thinking about that 2 million. You're going to make the next 2 million. The next million. Now what does that take? What does that look like? Why gold is bleeding so much? Really. I did quite a lot of psychology work in people here though. See all those wicks? Cloudflare is down. That's why a lot of brokers are down. I haven't experienced anything on my end. Actually, spreads are really good. Why analysis on the 1 minute time frame? It's the best time frame. If you learn, you know, the thing about the 1 minute is you just have to master your emotions, because on the 1 minute, it's obviously candles close a lot faster, but you're just kind of, I think once you master a lot of like patience, the 1 minute becomes a really nice time frame, because I don't know how to explain it. It's just nicer because on the 5 minute, you miss most of the moves anyway on gold. Like you see the size of these 5 minute candles, unless you're taking an impulsive break, it's sometimes difficult to wait for a candlestick to close, right? Because it's just going to push quite heavily. So that 1 minute gives you just enough detail to see really what's going on, because you can't do much like sometimes with the higher time frames. But on the 1 minute, you see a lot on the 1 minute. You see potential reversals on the 1 minute. You see those nice clean breakouts on the 1 minute. And coupled with some SMA confluence like the 50 and the 8 can really show you a really amazing opportunity. Like look at this, for example. What happened? This was a pre-London move, right? So you're looking at the 1 minute, you're saying, okay, what's going on here? You're seeing a lot of wicks, you see a little bit of hesitation. Definitely something is cooking up there, right? Definitely something is cooking up here. And then look at the SMAs. SMAs are behaving. And you see we're still below that 8 SMA. Oh, now look, candlestick starting to break above that 8 SMA. Look at this next candle. It's still testing that SMA, but you're waiting for price to break above these highs to show you momentum. And then look, next candle. With that SMA, we're right underneath the candles now. We got that kiss of death situation. So you're just waiting for the break. You're just waiting for the break. That's all you're waiting for. You see now the SMA is kind of like holding price up over here. You see this? Acting like a nice form of dynamic support is what we call it. And then boom. Triggered. Now you get triggered into your position. Right? So at this point you're thinking, man, price needs to go up. Boom. SMA comes in, holds the candlestick up, gives it a small push up the fence. Right? Give it a small nudge up the fence over there. And price moves up. Yeah, I think the 1 minute is pretty nice. Let's see if we can get price to trend again. 0.32%. Can we get back up here, Goldie? I don't even know where you were heading to. I'm an old guy, lol 45. 45 not bad. Not too shabby, not too shabby. By the time you hit 40, you're like an unk though. In Swahili, you'd be called a mzee. Mzee is kind of like an old man. But it's meant in a good way though. It's meant like, you know, you've gotten to the age of wisdom. So you're regarded as a mzee. I think like 45 is still not too bad. How's the jump from 30 to 40? I feel like from 20 to 30, it feels pretty long. You know, 20 to 30. Because like your life feels longer when you're still young, right? So like when you're 10 years old, life feels long because, you know, the 10 years, that's like, it feels really long. But like the older you get, like the jump now from 30 to 40, it starts to shrink more because you've been alive a lot longer. Hell yeah, I still got it. You know, what is Powell's age again? This guy's oh, Powell's 71? But Powell seems like, didn't Powell always have like white hair? Let's see, Powell Young Powell, Jerome Powell. Some people just start getting white hair when they're younger. That's the only picture of him. Oh, come on, Goldie. 0.28. You got this. Sam the man. Thank you for the sub. Well, why are people selling gold right now? The only thing I can think is pricing in the PCE numbers coming in later, 10 p.m. Eastern. So pricing in maybe a potential move to the upside. Let's read the newspaper. Gold rises ahead of key U.S. inflation data. Gold prices rise on a softer U.S. dollar, with investors turning their focus on key U.S. inflation print due later on Friday. The U.S. dollar index, which measures a greenback against the basket of other major currencies, is flat at 98.97. Gold managed to hold its ground after the latest U.S. jobs data did little to sway expectations of Fed interest rate cut next week. Traders are now waiting for PCE index data for more cues on the path of interest rate cuts. A lower interest rate environment typically benefits non-yielding assets such as gold. Gold likely to sustain strong rally in 2026. Global Economics and Market Research Team says in a report, the case for gold as a safe haven to diversify one's portfolio remains strong. There is still strong accumulation of gold inventory on key exchanges globally, while purchases of gold ETFs remain strong. Expectations of Fed rate cut next week is also a key near-term positive driver for the precious metal. See, this is why I'm wondering, like, why people selling gold? The only thing is the PCE. It's just PCE data I think they're pricing in. Gold prices fell below 4,200 pounds on Friday as investors await key US data ahead of next FOMC decision. Focus is on the postponed September PCE report, Fed's preferred inflation gauge, which could clarify the timing and pace of monetary easing. Oh, you took a buy at 42.17 mark after the retracement. I'm down for the day. 42.17. It's like a higher time frame for Bonacci. But let's see on the 30, 15. It's not a golden zone on the 15 though. I mean on the 30. Get send in your chart. Since NY has fundamentals expecting London, not taking support until NY. Expecting gold to dump first, then go up. I would say if you think price is gonna come down, how can you then catch the move down there instead of waiting? Because you know at this point, it's just a lot of waiting, right? It's a lot of waiting for price to come down here. And then you kind of okay, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this. I'm not a big fan of this type of trading style. I tried it and I couldn't make it work for me. I needed to see what price is doing currently and what can I do currently to make a good trade. Took buys, got wrecked on the breakout. Yeah, the breakout there. Because you see the moves that already happened sooner. That's the tricky thing with gold. Moves happen sooner. That's also with the London Open. Why on the London? We really would love to execute on the first like hourly candlestick. Even in the first 20-30 minutes. Right? Because we know with the London we can get like a push up. And then price can correct again like this. Because you're getting these moves happening like sooner. During the Asia, pre-London, and then London is like you get the last burst. And then it could roll over on you. Sometimes it rolls over like this, the way it's doing now, up until pre-New York. And then pre-New York would have a better shot at actually moving up bullish. So that's exactly how the whole idea behind one of these trades that we took. Behind this buy. Because, you know, it was like selling off for the whole of London. And then pre-NY rolled about here. This was exactly at 6 a.m. Eastern. You can see that's a pre-New York time. And then price started to have a better probability of moving up. So we might just have found ourselves in one of those situations here today. Where London is just like, it just pulled down for the London. But, you know, I got hopes because, you know, we're like 0.33% right now. If we could get a massive candlestick, like maybe even a 56 pip candle, which gold is, you know, gold can do these easy on the 5 minute of late. Like really big candles like this, kind of switch up the whole game. Because now, you know, volume is back into the market. But right now, we're just trying to avoid these whips. A lot of these like wicks which are building all over the place, and we want to see like clean fuel, clean burning fuel on gold. Not sure if you've noticed, but 65% of the time London is a buy over the last 100 days. Yeah, I mean, because gold has been kind of bullish. Overall, you know, on the year gold hit about like 66%. So even just based off that statistic on its own, we could say that the whole year has been more bullish than bearish. So yes. But I don't like basing trades based off of like over the 100 days that London session specifically has been bullish. But I would say I've been more happy to take buys on gold then sells. Doesn't matter if it's like pre-London or Asia or pre-NY. I just felt a bit more confident with the buys on gold. So, you know, it's coming up here again, 0.36%. For the sells, it's only like if you need like a really fast move, then the sells can play out usually like really nice for you too. Like for example, yesterday's trade was a really fast move. But you know, it's like you don't really want to be selling, but you could take it and get a quick fast move. Then that's what we got yesterday, a 20 pip banger, right? That was a London Open breakout. It was from a big consolidation. This was the one right here. Let me show you. Let's see if I can even remember which one it was. I think it was this one. I remember I also got confused yesterday with which one it was. Now, where was it? Was it this one right here? I think it was this one right here. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, I did like about 28. It went almost to 30. But it's nice because like with a sell, you just want to see a fast move, right? Like that's how typically sells are. You see, now we're getting, you see, just a fast move. This was from this breakout right over here. Boom. That's a fast move, so you can get away with it. And you see with Goldie, where I mentioned that it can switch up at any moment, like how we're used to getting those like 56 pip candles. So it can just switch up the trend at any moment. You see, we're already up here, like that's about 40 pips on that 5-minute candle. See, we're getting fuel in, clean fuel. Historically, London session has a bearish opening. So 0.38%. Daily bias about to flip here. So remove this, remove some lines, keep our chart work clean. Don't need any analysis. Yeah, bang bang mofos, rewind the dang stream. I'm out. You don't trade Bitcoin? No. I love to predict when it's gonna crash Bitcoin. That's all I like to do on Bitcoin. Not sure if you we answer that. For me, my favorite pastime is always to predict when Bitcoin is crashing. Like we predicted the one for 15K. I wonder if I can actually find that on my Instagram. It's probably somewhere around here. Where could it be? Live account? I don't even look at these highlights anymore. Or is it in lifestyle? Where the hell is it? Yeah, just out of interest, I wonder where it is. But it's somewhere here in the highlights when we predicted the move to 60 and then to 15. Somewhere around here. So now we're predicting one last tap to 100. And then from 100, where are we going? I haven't gone to my lows. I just did a short-term one. This is a short-term one here from 100 to 80. But I think above 100 and then down, that's going to be now the long-term target. That's going to be now the big one. Bitcoin's already down on the daily. It says it's down 1.1%. Yeah, Bitcoin is already selling off today. It's down 1%. So what are we looking at? What are we looking? Last time we got 15K right to the T, which is actually For me, that was like a Michael Burry moment, you know? That was a huge Michael Burry moment for me. Boom, boom. Right down to that mark. Now, we're not... I don't think 15k is gonna be... I feel like that's too much. That's too much. Maybe we're gonna look at maybe 50k. 50k dump. Retest 100k. Get some exuberance back in. And then bring them down to like around the 50s. Alright. Now, let's see. We're about to get a new 5-minute open. How's the hourly? The hourly already move? Yeah, it kind of moved a bit there. See if I can get a candlestick to... Let's see currently where we are at. 0.38. So 0.38. We're not yet flipping though on the daily bias. Don't know if we'll get the flip. Oh, wait a bit longer. I'll wait a bit longer. I would want to see support here being formed. And then price to break. I want to see price pull down and then probably break. We'll see what it is at the break. Daily bias should be flipping by then. TetraFX doesn't have a profitable trade strategy, just time travels. Let's wait for liquidity grab and then all the way up Goldie. It could happen here. It's cooking something up right now for sure. It needs to come down and then go up. So you see, we've already been to the future. Now we just have to wait for things to catch up here. See, it's gonna come down like 40 seconds, create a support over here. Then the next candlestick will trigger. We'll close as a support and then we'll look for that continuation. I'm waiting for 5 close about 42.26. 42.26. I think I'll take it off the rip. I wouldn't wait for any candle to close. Are you taking this, Ricardo? What are you doing? Are you going to wait for a candle to close? 42.24? Or are you going to take it off the rip? Now I want to see candle now close bullish. Close bullish, preferably here. And then we continue to go up. Some of your analysis on BTC and other things you don't even trade is so good. I'm convinced. Yeah, it's just like the market psychology, you know, if the market operates in such ways where it's very intentional, you know, it's very intentional what it does. Like sometimes when you get these entries and then it tries squeezes you out. Sometimes it even comes so close to our stop loss area, even like 1 pip, and then flies and hits your take profit. Right? Like the market psychology is quite something. And then coupled with technical analysis. So you see now what you see, like we're anticipated, just like the way we're anticipating here. Bearish candle first come down and then we close like a support. We always kind of want to visualize what we want to see. I've closed that support. So if we break these highs, I'm going to get into my position now. Now that it's set up. Now all that's missing here, the last ingredient is a break above the highs. So I hope I went into the right universe when I went ahead in time and came back now. I hope that was the right multiverse. So let's see. Come on, pull up, Goldie. Please don't break the lows. You don't need to break lows. Don't be boring, Goldie. Don't be boring. Let's break those highs. Reject. Reject, reject. There's no one who wants to sell there, Goldie. Come on, let's buy, let's buy. But we got 10 minutes till the new hourly open too. And this hourly candle has already had a move. So it's not like the super cleanest move, but the hourly is kind of moved a bit. It's moved like about 30 pips. It's not that much, but it's definitely already had some kind of move. What essentially it is that we're doing is we're kind of buying at resistance. I don't know if I should wait for more structure to form though. Because it's accumulating by resistance. It's looking to take out these highs. All right, let me remove my analysis. Because from that distribution here, you'd have also more stop losses above this regions. Over here. Distribute, stop losses above those regions. But I need that daily flip though. I need to see how that daily is going to flip. The daily bias. That's 0.39. All right. It's got a flip over there. We push aggressively. Oh man, it's right on the flip. That's the problem. It's right on the flip. But I already executed expecting it to continue following through. Man, don't fake me out. That was aggressive push. See, it's right on that daily bias. Right. You see, when you get to entries, the daily bias is going to flip. See, now it's flipping right at that entry point right there. So you can follow through. This Owly here has enough steam. Because this is literally what happened yesterday as well. When it broke the lows, it was right at that daily trend point when it was selling off. But now it's doing it but for buys instead. See right here, this is literally the daily bias. It's almost like a dynamic, you can think of it like a dynamic support or resistance, like how the SMAs are too. Oh man, I think it's losing steam. It's losing steam right there by the entries. Got 3. Oh, the new 5-minute is opening up too. It's great, like a bottom wick. Because you got a new Owly open as well in the next 5 minutes. Yeah, I guess I gotta see it through now, but no, not what we want to see. Not with these entries. As you already know, these entries should go straight into profit. Moment it starts doing stuff like this, just kind of gotta let it see it through, but I think it's coming for me. Because it's got like really nice clean range below those lows. If it did want to sell off by 42.22. Just gotta respect that structure. Yeah, I don't like the way it also triggered me in was kind of sus. Like it pushed up so aggressively quickly. Let's see. Already breaking those lows. I hope it does its Judas trick of like breaking highs and lows and reflips. Because it just broke the high, then it breaks the low, and then it reflips again. Because that's kind of like the gold psychology of late. Like you see these wicks on the left-hand side too. Just breaking and then pulling down. Breaking blows and then pulling up. So let's see if that works out in our favor and confluence for this move. See, daily bias still saying waiting up there. Because we need to actually get above 42.24 and like maintain that 42.24 level. Because see, yesterday I was more hesitant. It's like a similar thing that happened with yesterday's trade for the sell that played out. But that played out with less stress. Like it went straight to profit. This one kind of give you a bit more stress. It's not a good thing, but you don't want to like mismanage, right? Like in a situation like this, you'd rather see it through than mismanage the position. But yeah, oh man, now it's looking a lot better too. It's looking a lot better, that accumulation. I do hope these become the lows and then we get a break of the highs there, because that's going to give us like a double confirmation if it breaks those highs. Come on, Goldie, can you just rip up? Then we can use that 5 minute as the liquidity grab. That would be the liquidity grab, break below that low. How much time we got? Oh, 1 minute. We got a new hourly open, so we got the hourly lows as well. If it could pull up a bit more, this is the problem now. You see on the hourly, this is the problem. That new hourly candle is about to open up over here. So you see that new hourly candle is gonna pull down, and it's a much larger time frame. So we really gotta see that the intraday structure gets respected here in the next 30 seconds, because we're about to get a big wave coming in. Basically, think about the hourly like that too. We're about to get a bigger wave coming. Ah. That's a higher time frame trying to pull down. Nah, no chance. That hourly's gonna open to create a bottom wick. Oh, it's breaking off a shot. Holy! 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 What's going on here? Oh my days. Come on, at least it broke the highs now. At least it broke the highs. At least we got double confirmation on this one. Come on now. Let's go, Spartans.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Oh, Lee, I told you big wave is coming in. It broke. So you see daily bias here has flipped to bullish again. Hey, if you don't feel comfortable, put your stop to break even if you want. Because that was actually quite wild. That was wild. Come on, Goldie, fly. Double confirmation, baby. Let's go. Let's take out this sellers. This sellers stop losses from the previous sellers before. Fly, Goldie, fly. Oh man, where's the volatility coming in from though? This is just PA. It looks more of like a technical thing. Because we don't have news or anything. That's why I like the London session, is because you can cancel out a lot of those other things that could be happening, because during this time we don't get news or anything of the sort. Yeah, you see, that's a beautiful thing about technicals though. Like, price really should respect those levels. You see how also on the higher time frame, why it didn't do that on the opposite side? Because like it really should respect those levels. You know, most of the time there's no shock in the water. Like, contrary to a lot of belief, right, that the 1 minute can be dangerous. Like, you see something like what happened here. I've never had that really happen on the opposite side of my trade. Because whenever I get a confirmation, I'm expecting price to go a certain direction, right? So I've never had happen like an aggressive move like that actually go on the opposite side, which is quite interesting, but I don't want to jinx it, you know? But I've never had that happen to me, because like whenever price confirms with momentum and direction, it typically speaking should be going in that direction. Even if it pulls back for drawdowns and stuff, that's what you're expecting when you're getting in. But yeah, let me see. This is like crazy volatile here. I think it's reacting off of the 5 minute area, these rejection wicks for whatever reason. But you know, overall fundamentally, we're expecting price on gold to go up. You know, it doesn't make sense for gold macro fundamentally to move down at this point. would be nice if we could get a pop up first. But again, if you don't feel comfortable, just get out of break even, right? This is not the most ideal situation for this type of setup, because this setup should ideally just move into profits, like as you've seen before in the past. High time frame candle open. Bias is flipping. You see, it's right on that daily bias. I mean, there are definitely buyers in here. Like, price doesn't move like that as well if there's no buyers. Definitely trying to push up. It's got a 5-minute candle closure there. It's got a lot of speed bumps to get through here on the left-hand side. Bunch of rejection wicks. In terms of managing the trade, I would like wait for... Yeah, I'll wait for more structure. I'll wait for more structure. So I'll see if price does something like this. If it comes down, creates another structure, then I would reduce my stop loss. So right now we haven't created like much of any structure. Alright, next time it creates a support, that's when I'll be looking to reduce my stop. Because now we're seeing it struggle a lot. Yeah, so if that 1 minute there closes bullish, it should move up at this point. According to the sample sizing data that I have, it should move up here. So that's why I said I'd wait for a bit more structure and then reduce the stop. If it re-breaks these lows, then there's no point trying to fight a trade which is already struggling. This is basically the market giving me some kind of an insurance. Got about 10 seconds left before the minute candle here closes. That would also be the 5-minute bottom wick as a 5-minute candle reflips there. Alright, so reducing stop losses here, guys. Gonna be managing here. So that's how we're gonna manage our trade. Instead of risking 20 pips now, we're gonna risk about like half of that, 10 pips. So I'd say pretty good management on that. We never really want to see our trades struggle. This is pulling down. Because remember, number one thing you are as a trader is a risk manager. The profits and stuff, they take care of themselves, right? So we've effectively reduced 50%. 50% of risk here on this trade. So you know that in itself is a W. We've taken the insurance. We've taken the insurance. Because every moment in the market is unique. You know, it's not the trade that we got into when we got into. As price develops, you also have to develop. Right? Don't become a sitting duck. There's my duck here. Don't become a sitting duck. Because you gain confidence from risk management. Next 5 minutes just close bullish. So you got to respect, you know, we also got dynamic forms of support resistance here too, if you notice. We got our SMAs. So really a candlestick should not be coming to re-break these lows. If you're anticipating price to move upwards, candles should not be coming to re-break these lows, and they shouldn't be getting through our dynamic support, which are the SMAs. If anything, the SMAs are there to protect price. So in case price comes down, it taps it. Then you get like a kiss of death scenario like this, and then price continues to move upwards. So we have a pretty high confluence management area right there. But it's a wild trade, chat. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a wild trade because it's literally on that daily bias flip right there. If it breaks these highs, I'm going to put my stops to break even because now I'll just be anticipating a continuation. See what's happening there on the 1 minute. It's flipping out. This thing's chopping up a lot. Yeah. I put a hard stop loss, so that stopped me out. Shouldn't have used a hard stop loss, but I used a hard stop loss. Now it got me. Hasn't really broken that level yet by 42.23. See what would have happened. I managed my trade there. Man, is it still respecting it? Damn, it's still respecting it to the T? Kind of wanted to break that level. This is why I never use hard stop losses, but I put enough space there on my C trader. It's crazy it still got me out because I put more than what it should have been right here. Because I prefer to see those areas just fully get broken if we're going to break it. Low-key, I low-key want this thing to break because it just created a support as well. Let's see. It's gonna break. Bro, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. You gotta be fucking joking, man. You know, I never use hard stop losses, but today I was like, I gave it more room than it was actually here. But it still went for me somehow. Market trying to take emotion / USD. I mean, it would be crazy if it actually did skyrocket from this point because like it didn't even have to. Like whenever we came down to create that support, we should have just moved up. We should have just kept moving upwards. So it would be wild to see it actually come down right to the T and then skyrocket upwards like that. Okay, yeah, it looks like it did actually take it now. Good. Yeah, it's a difficult one. I had a feeling like this trade would be kind of hard to catch. This is like very hard trade to catch because on the 5-minute time frame we have like a whole kind of resistance here. And we got like where we had a lot of volatility before. So the thing is like it could still play out, but you don't want to become a sitting duck, you know? You don't want to marry a trade for too long. Like if it doesn't play out initially, then you just move on to the next one. You see, like it's like dirty work basically. I knew this was going to be a hard one to catch. Just the overall market environment that it's in. That's wild actually. It like literally came all the way right to the T right there. And then it's like pulling back up again. Wait, let me see how much did it even stop that out by. 423.81. Tapped into it by 0.3 pips. That's crazy work. Super volatile. Oh wow, and then coming back down again. Crazy, crazy. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with Goldie. Ending the week here at about 2%. But I haven't had a 3 lose streak in a minute though. I think, was that the first time this year? No, I had one in September. Oh, September was crazy month. Look at that. Got like 3 back-to-back, 1 loss, and then another 2 back-to-back. Oh, holy. Good management on my part. Could have been a lot worse. I risked a total of maybe 4% today, and I got out only about 2.50%. Just like half of what I risked basically on the day. Yeah, so that's a W in my books. It's gonna make it easier for me next week. Gearing up for long night. But that was quite an interesting trade though, I gotta admit. Like the way this 1 minute here just popped up, 25 pips. If last year me are in this trade, might go for another one. That's the thing. It's like whenever the markets are giving a hard time, you don't want to overtrade because there's a high chance you're gonna get stuck into another trade exactly like that previous one. So it tried to push here, but it couldn't find enough steam. I feel like the buyers are lacking for some reason. But whereas we should actually be seeing them come in. That's the kind of trade that would use all my emotional strength for the day. I'd be calling it after that. Yes. Yeah, I think once we put our stops to 50% of the initial risk, it was kind of like a stress-free trade for me at that point. Had a smaller, but you see also in the overall trade here, lost about 0.38%. So pretty good. It's about a 192.50. That was a lesson in management. I rarely see your trades in drawdown. Exactly. And that should be like, that should actually show you like a moment these plays go in drawdown, never a good sign. It's never a good sign. Like drawdown for too long like this. A little bit of drawdown is okay. But when it comes into drawdown when it comes like really deep, it's typically not a good sign. Like, but your stop losses can still get respected. Like I've mentioned in other streams, I've had situations where my stops have been respected by like, you know, right to the T. So you just kind of have to see it through till the end. That's what we did here. I think the only thing in hindsight you could have done is maybe put your stop to break even, but there was not enough structure to do that anyway. A much better chance would have been if we broke above those highs by 42.25 to BE right over there. I think we played it right. Well, according to, if you go on the WAP database and mentorship, you'll see we played it pretty much to the T. Oh, 1 hour has no bottom wick? I thought it did create one. Got a small little tiny bottom wick over here. It did. Remember when the hourly opened, it nearly came to stop me out, but then it created the bottom wick. It created a bottom wick. It pulled down slightly and then it pushed up. It's only doing this because there's low volume. Like if you look at the overall market condition of gold today, it's just been choppy, right? We're just giving it a try over here. Just being patient. But you see it's like a lot of wicks and quite a bit of choppiness. Trying to maneuver right now. Because we're not even trending again. Remember, like we're right at the daily bias. It's flipping right over here. Just by this zone. So this is where like we're expecting at least the volume could clean up a little bit more. Yes, sir. Still holding on to the ropes. Let's see. That's, you manage the trade perfectly according to your rules. Yes, exactly. Market trying to. Let me read some of these comments. W trade for you. A. Good friend told you that gold's a gold digger. Yeah, today she is digging. She is digging quite a bit. Great job piloting these conditions. Thank you. Yeah, it's not easy because like it can still play, it could still play out, but you know, you have to choose the decision between, like, are you gonna manage your trade or are you just gonna gamble you see, now it's breaking the high. That's the initial high that I wanted to see it go at break even, right? That was the initial high, because it would be safer. It would make more sense to go break even at this point because it's breaking structure, you know, because like anything else here, this would have been all too, like, a bit too early. Correct? So it's a very difficult condition to pilot. Like, this is choppiness. We're literally flying through a thunderstorm. So it's like, you know, you just gotta like manage your risk. It's actually quite funny how gold is being a gold digger today. It really came to dig quite a bit over there, huh? But you see, eventually, you know, it is supposed to move where it's supposed to move. Like, that was the idea right there. Then we got like TP smashed. Then everybody would be happy, right? But in this specific trade, you know, you gotta sample size all your trades. You're gonna run every now and then into turbulence. It's like, how are you gonna maneuver that? But, you know, it's still a W idea here. Because if you sample size enough of these trades, most of the time you're going to save a lot more money just taking the insurance when it's time to reduce the risk. Wow, look at that. Finally flow up after accumulating again here. So it just basically created a secondary accumulation right here and then distributed from that one, which was actually a lot more cleaner. See, like this one is a lot more cleaner. It went straight. It didn't give a hard time on that one. That's like basically the same idea here. That was the same one here. But you see, this one gave a hard time. It like put us in and then, or like confirmed double entry right here, and then came into drawdown. Whereas this one is acting differently, right? This one's just going like nicely and smoothly. So those are the ones that I'm trying to catch, and I'm trying to avoid this as much as possible. So in this scenario, Goldie's been tricky, real tricky. A real tricky one here today. So yeah, I'm just gonna call it a day there. W trade, but I'm mad at the PA. Yeah, I know, because like for me it makes sense to go up just because of what we're expecting. Also with the PC numbers and everything, we're actually expecting this thing to skyrocket. Like next week we're expecting a bull run. So I am really looking forward to these buys. I might have to hold one of my trades sometime. Let's see here on the 15. It's got like some nice little 15-minute clean range. Keep moving up towards like 42.30. Oh no, 30-minute looks clean. Got some wicks there on the hourly to get through. I think only Denzel Washington in flight could have survived this. You know, because now that's gonna you know, because when you sample size the data, I don't have sample sizing beyond this point. So beyond this point, because I know every moment, the moment I get into my trade, I know every scenario based on my entry model, what can happen. But the problem is it gets dark at some point, right? At some point, we just don't know. There's too many variables. There's too many randoms or outliers. So at this point, like this is a point that I don't know. I can't have a percentage for probability of what happens beyond that point. That's when pretty much the market does what the market does, right? Right here. Beyond this point, once it started breaking these lows, I don't know what happens. Like anything can happen. Anything can happen. Only Denzel Washington in flight could maneuver such a thing like that. Like in the movie, they couldn't replicate the way he flipped the plane and landed it. Vic, when you take one loss, are you trying to recover it the same day or just get off the chart? Nah, I'm chill. I'm gonna make it back soon. It's just like in November as well. You know, in November, I had a slow November. Remember how my November was? It was pretty slow in the beginning. I even made a video about it on YouTube. And then it flipped to 21%. So I just keep my head on straight and I just wait for the markets to open up again. That's it. Just look at the environment you're trading in. Don't play the victim. Just like objectively look at the environment that you're playing in. If you're noticing a lot of wicks, a lot of volatility, a lot of hesitation, then you can be happy that you at least manage your trade. Right? And just keep doing that. Just keep doing that. And eventually you get clear skies again. You fly through the thunderstorm clouds and things start to open up again like this. You'll see my results are very unison to how the markets move. Whenever the markets are not pushing and following through, my results are also going to reflect the same thing. And when the markets are moving and clean, my results are also going to reflect the same thing. That's why I'm waiting for next week. Hopefully we can get that bull run in and try grab a couple of runners in there too. So yeah, I mean, that's it. Only when you revenge trade, if you feel like taking another trade. Oh, look at that. You see, it's like volatile. It's so volatile. Look at the way the 1 minute here dropped. 23 pips down. That's why you should never revenge trade, never tilt. If you say to yourself you're going to take one trade per session, stick to that rule. Remember, rules are there to protect you, right? There's a reason why when you go, you do your backtesting this weekend, and we're going to do a simulation in the mentorship this weekend. There's a reason we set these rules for ourselves, right? There's a reason. Some of us, we have these risk management rules, but we never follow them. We don't follow them. Even though we do our backtesting, we get the data, but when it comes onto the chart, we like to flirt around with this little gray area, you know, where you don't have the variables for. That for you is more interesting. Those dark spots where you don't have variables for, because you know it feels good to get lucky. So you decide, I should manage here, but let me just let me see what happens. You know, but we set ourselves rules for a reason. They're there to protect us. But it's crazy. Look, you hit right the TP mark over here. Again, I told you like 20 pips. What did I say, chat? 20 pips. You know, it's not even doing more than 20 pips. Like it peaked like 25 over here, but it's not hitting that 30 anymore. I'm telling you, chat, adaptation. That's what you need, adaptation. You know, it's a reason why these two trades here are break-even trades, because I was aiming for a 30. But now I realize when I see something like that happen like twice, I'm always thinking to myself, man, we got to adapt something here. There's something we need to change. So because it's going to happen again, you know, that's the thing about the market. So the faster you can learn from that, the better it's going to be for your P&L. Otherwise, this would have been pretty much this. This section would have looked like that. But you see the volume was dying out, but it only became clear when we had those two Bs. And that's why today I also came into the chart with that same mentality of that 30 pip is not going to work. If anything off these models, just go for the 20 pips. They're a little bit more safer at this moment. Now, every now and then you get the runner, which just runs crazy. But it's a skill, you know, like trading is a skill. Like nothing here is by chance. Nothing here is by accident. Like everything has been sample sized and you just play the playbook. Hourly wick made on futures. My account looks like OMFG 5 minute. So nice head and shoulders. Oh, right here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Yeah, it's chopping around. It's just flying through some clouds here. It really needs to get through this entire zone. But you know, my whole idea was like, we're going for the stop losses up here from these sellers who push price down. And it actually did. I think on Fridays we should be super scalpers when price is in profits and close it. Yeah, at least, man. At least 20 pips, trust me. At least 20 pips in these market conditions overall. Super scalp. Order field. We are in the trenches now. Yes. We are in the trenches. Alright, see you later, Woods. See Woods gotta fly. Enjoy. Enjoy some shark tail fin soup this weekend. Try it out. Let us know how it is. W trade, let's see, just got out with 1%, kept my SL above previous structure lows. Practicing patience and trusting the process. What was my target for the trade? Just around here by 42.27-ish. Like riding a wild bronco. Yeah, that's true. That's how it does feel like. But I hope this is not coming across as I'm making excuses, chat. Because I don't want it to come across as if I'm low-key making... I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just trying to show angles. I know sometimes it might seem like it... when maybe I get into a trade and say stuff like, oh, you know, it's not the cleanest. You should be a bit more clean. If we got a re-break here. It's not... I'm not making excuses. That's just me taking you through the thought process of what's going through my head. You know, otherwise I could just remain silent and I might seem like cool about it. But I'm just sharing with you what's going through my head. So you know that it's not always the case. Like as a trader, you shouldn't always feel 100% confidence. The ego is what actually kills you in the end. You should always think about what's going on. Like, is there something I did wrong, or what's going on? Like, how's the trade progressing? Like that should be what's going through your head, right? So you don't cloud your judgment. So you know that you're making all the right decisions. Because, you know, that's what should be going through your head instead of... because some people, maybe the thought process is, oh, I'm scared. This is going to hit stop loss. It's going to hit stop loss. Like, maybe you're thinking that. Maybe that's what's going through your head. So I'm showing you, like, a different way to approach it as well. So it's not out of fear. It's just like you're playing the devil's advocate. Because, you know, that's the thing about being an entrepreneur, right? In trading, it's the same thing. You have to be the devil's advocate. You know, you can't just be the judge and jury all the time, an executioner. You have to have a way to, you know, reason with yourself to see other objectives. That's what a good leader is. And when you're trading, it's also the same thing. You know, you can't be the judge, jury, and executioner. You also have to have like play the devil's advocate. Because the profits, they take care of themselves. Like, don't even worry about profits. Just worry about the process of getting in and managing risk. That whatever with the profit, just let it happen. Let it happen. Yeah, but for this trade, we didn't have very nice clean range. I would say like it only struggled because we got rejection wicks over here. The only clean ranges we got were like on the 30 minute to move up to as like 42.30. That's a much higher area. So also that kind of made it difficult. As opposed to if you're like in a valley like this, and then you got your setup, then it has a lot more freedom to move without any rejections or volatility on the left-hand side. Is that a head and shoulders forming? Yeah, I think that's the one Ricardo mentioned too. This one right here. Yeah, it's forming. It's forming. We got that PC. You know, we're going to see some fireworks today. At a 10 a.m. Eastern. That's a core PC index. So that's the main event. That's why you're seeing price behave the way it's behaving. That's the inflation data that the FOMC is waiting for. And once we get that, oh, it's going to see how that daily candlestick closes. It's going to be quite interesting to see if we can even close above resistance here by 42.40. And man, next week, yeah, I think next week I got to get some runners there. Runners to ATH. Well, not all the way to ATH, but you know, as we're going up to HDH. Oh, flirting with the daily flip, which is still kind of funny. You see the daily bias here is just like flipping. We're on the verge of a potential trend soon. It's right at that psychological area. Hey Vic, Ivan. Mob love from Kenya. Thank you, thank you. As I said, you're a mentor for a reason. I respect it a lot. Thank you, Rainsy, man. I really like to see positive comments because it gives feedback, and you know, with feedback, then I can see or understand what's going on here. But when there's no feedback, it's like, all right, I'm just gonna speak, and hopefully, getting through to some people as well. Yeah, it's consolidating. It's getting ready again for maybe a potential push above 42.25. Yeah, but heavy condition right here. It says no excuses. You're speaking from your position of experience. Good to learn from. Thank you, Jane. Today's trades are slow. Yes. Pre-NY may be very good before news. I'm looking for your bull run to hit. We should not be greedy and give some back to the market. There's a Friday. You know, Friday people are ruining it on Fridays. They're ruining it. Ruining it. Because, you know, imagine somebody who doesn't understand why price is moving like this. You know, I take myself back to year one. In year one, I would not know like the difference between like this day and like a clean day. For me, like every day would be basically the same, that I could catch a position, you know. But now imagine people who don't know why it's moving this volatile, and then they're going to ruin it. They're going to overtrade, and then they're just going to keep getting smacked. They just get smacks on smacks. But now, since we're all here together, we can say that, okay, you know, we see how price, we see the volatility, we see the wicks, we understand core PCE is coming out, because now you're watching the stream, and if you didn't know, now you know. So now you know core PCE is coming out, this inflation data, which is going to be super important for the rate decisions next week on Wednesday. So there is going to be a bit of like, you can think of an anxiety in the market of sorts, or anticipation of sorts, right? See where it's easing at 87.2%. So you're going to look at the price action now from a different angle. We're like, okay, you know, that kind of makes sense over here. Makes a lot of sense. But you see, if you don't have that data and that train of thought, then this could just be like any day that you can actually, you might be able to catch something. You know what I mean, chat? Like people who just focus on technicals rather than also like keeping in mind those other things. So there's now a small range here. That's going to be about, from here to here, it got about like 43.8 pips. Listening to your thoughts helped me. I appreciate your insight trading a group. Build confidence, much appreciated. Let's go. I mean, on stream, the trades have been good so far this week. We had like 2 really good dubs, and then Thursday we called out a few trades, and this was the only losing trade really this week on stream. Where I've been taking my L's have been during the pre-London session. Like quite a bit over here. Like this morning I got 2%. Yesterday I got 2.30%. This day over here I got 1.15%. So pre-London session is kind of like crazy right now. But we're gonna be back next week. Gonna call it a week at 2%. And say thank you, God. Thank you for ending me at least with something. You know? See, it's flirting with the idea for a sell-off. Got like small little head and shoulders forming here too. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. It starts to break below these lows. So look at filling up some range there, which is quite funny. I wonder why these kind of like sellers in the market. It's like they want to price in the core PC a bit more. So the closer you get into that core PC, that price has dipped. I don't understand why they want to sell it. Hey, but shout out to whoever that was. Whoever that was who pushed price up. Let's go. You know, sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it could actually just be like an individual, but like more of an institution which pushes it like this. They just get like a good price and then they push it like this. That's what I like to. That's what I like to think. And then the market said, "Oh, we got buyers. We got Rainsy here. So Rainsy has put his orders in. Awesome. We filled Rainsy in. Now let's see if there's more people like Rainsy who think that this should be a buy." And then the market will always recalibrate. Then maybe we get some more buyers over here. It says, "Oh, we're not getting enough buyers. Okay, so we gotta go back down again." It's gonna recalibrate. Then we get, maybe we get another push over here. You remember this spike? This spike maybe was even the same guy who made this happen, right? So it's like, all right, let's try pump it up again. Boom, got back in. Said, okay, let's fill in Rainsy again. And then it comes down and says, oh, there's not enough people in here, so let's go back down again. Then it comes back down again, maybe like fetch us some more orders, and then it finally distributes. That's the reason, that's how I make sense of these pullbacks in the market over the years. There's a certain way it behaves, you know. It's like if you go into the rainforest and live with those ancient tribes for a very long time, you're never gonna learn their language, but you're gonna learn, at least based off of how they say things, you're gonna start being able to communicate with them, right? It's just the same way as your cat. If you own a cat or a dog, based on how the cat meows or the dog barks and says certain things, you don't know like what it's saying, you don't know the words it's saying, but you can understand based off of how that certain meow sounds or that certain bark sounds, right? That's the best way that I can explain it. And you just stay with them for long enough to build that a relationship. This week I got 1% each on 2 accounts. Amazing. Amazing. If you ended the week even with 1%, you're doing better than a lot of people, and you should be proud of that. That 1%, amazing. I did not have a trade open when that news hits. Yes. Man, because you know, there's some people ending the week here with no account. Well, it would be nice to see it 42.20 or even 42.15 before we go up again. Let's see, where do we hit? 42? Oh, 42.20 or 42.15. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I don't have crystal balls. I never can tell you if price is gonna just come down like that randomly on an intraday time frame. I can't do that. But what I can tell you is where we are now, and based off of what happens next, where we can be in the next 10 minutes, 5 minutes, based off an interconfirmation. That I can tell you. But randomly to say also like, okay, now price is gonna go here and then come back down. As I said, like this is the reason why I don't like also this type of analysis, right? Because man, this is where I had my hardest point in trading when I used to do that. That was during a time like it was not a very good time mentally for me whenever I was like trading like this. So whenever I look at this, there's a part of my brain which just switches off because it's very difficult to always like anticipate that until you get your confirmations, right? So for me, it's even to say like, if we break above even on the daily and they start getting wick breaks over here, coupled with the rate cuts, they're going to see a much higher chance to move up. So, you know, I'm coming at it from like a point of information rather than just speculation. So you gotta see your analysis. Whenever you do your analysis, like for example here, why do you think that price deserves to come down to 42.01? You know, that's the missing text. Like what makes you think that price is gonna go down there? Because the chart work looks good, it looks nice, it's a good chart, but what really is the reason? And is it something like with information that is solid information, or is it because maybe there's it's kind of difficult to explain, you know? But why do you think, and if you think it's gonna come down here, why not just look for a way to sell off from here? But I also at the same time, I understand because I also used to do that. So I also do understand why sometimes we might not even need that extra information, is because we've seen based just off technical analysis or price action, we've had certain trades do what we thought it would do. So I understand that, but I think over the years with my trading, what I've tried to eliminate is the unknowns. I've tried to eliminate as much of the unknowns as possible. So I need reasons as to why I think it can really come down. Because even if I'm looking at this on the 15-minute, I see like it has a lot of structure to also get through first. Right over here. Quite a bit of supports. Dun dun dun. It comes down. Because this also takes me back to a time where I felt the Fibonacci's was safe. Because with a fib, it would push up, and then surely by the time it comes down here, it can't push up anymore. Right? That's also like a way of mentally thinking. And I'm pretty sure you think like this too. You feel like if price was to come down like this, surely like this zones would get respected, right? Because there's a lot more structure down here. So having a stop here, like it also sounds good. It sounds good technically speaking. So that's how I would play the devil's advocate to kind of chop up your reasoning behind a chart like this. There's the same reason why if price shoots down really fast, people like to buy, because like surely it can't just keep moving down in one go. It would have to, you see like in a range like this, for example, if you get like a candle just melt quickly, it would be tempting to get a buy because you would feel like a retracement should be coming in. So you think this type of strategy is not worth it in the long run? I think just be very careful. Like just be very careful with speculation. You just want to remove speculation out of the equation. What essentially you want to do is if you got a really big higher time frame target in mind, you have to look at the macros, right? If it's from the daily and you have those daily targets, you need those macros. If it's the intraday time frames, you can get away with PA. So now at this point, you're sample sizing data of an entry model and how much of that range could in theory get corrected, right? So you're looking more from an entry perspective based off data that you can gather that's consistent. To say, okay, if I consistently take my accumulation breaks, how many pips can it consistently do? You know, and then you're gonna look and see in different scenarios, what's the probability in this scenario it can give me those pips, and what's the probability in this scenario it could give me more pips. So you're coming at it from a very statistical and measurable way, as opposed to just maybe feeling that it comes down and then goes up like that. Because I think what happens is the strategy gives you the point A. So once you have your point A, it's easier to measure out the outcomes from that point A. But you want your point A to be static, right? In all market environments, you want to be able to get the point A, but you want it to be static, right? So you can measure all different outcomes, because not every trade, not every A+ setup is going to be the same as well. And then that with experience, and you get market cycles under your belt, you'll find yourself in similar you can think of these as what, threads, similar situations, right? But just because it's a similar situation doesn't also mean it's 100% guarantee the same thing, but it's giving you a higher probability, more than 50% of one thing happening over the other. But you need your point A. It's more information based, so you can always tie it back into the playbook or the strategy entry model. That's how you're gonna remove the variables, right? Because if it's a random, then that's what happens. You end up in a loop of forever learning. If it's random, if you don't have a foundation, you're always gonna be going back to the drawing board. And it's the problem with that is it can be an endless loop. You know, you can find yourself in a position of forever learning. So you just gotta be careful about that. Because, you know, some people, they're going to find themselves in that loop and it's not a good place to be in. So just have that constant. Yes, sir. But I think I'm going to end off the stream here, chat. I wish you all the best on your backtesting sessions this weekend. We're going to be doing a simulation in the mentorship. For those of you who can make it, awesome. And I will see you next week, Monday. Adios, everybody. Enjoy your weekend.